All right, some little crazy bad parenting stories, right? So I just recently kind of put a lot more shit together in my life and figured out, and I kind of knew this a bit, that I am the family scapegoat, right? I'm just a bad kid. I'm a horrible person, and that's the way it's been for a long time, right? Like I was thinking about like the one instance this come up, and I thought this was normal shit until I got older and realized that wasn't normal. That was not normal at all, really. So anywho, let me give you a one instance, right? Like I remember I was usually grounded often, right? And they say, "Oh, he always knew difference between right and wrong, but always chose wrong." Well, it didn't matter what I did with them; it was wrong. If I did it, I was wrong. If I didn't do it, I was wrong. It didn't matter, right? So I'd be grounded for like 2 weeks, sitting in the chair with nothing in the kitchen for hours or stand up against the wall like this, my arms up against the wall, just facing the wall for hours on end. Be late in the night, I'm tired, falling asleep, almost falling over. And but for like 2 weeks or something like that, right? And it would get messed up because at the end of the 2 weeks they'd find some other little thing and pull it out, and I'd be grounded for another 2 weeks. Surprise, surprise, you know. Or it would be just at the end of 2 weeks, and I was looking forward to get back my freedoms, my privileges, as they called it. But I don't think they're privileges now. They're just like if they I don't know. Anywho, so, but then all of a sudden, like, oh no, you're grounded for 2 more days because we meant this, or, something stupid like that. And I remember one time I hadn't been grounded for like a couple of weeks, right? And they actually said, "Oh, you haven't been grounded for a couple of weeks? Oh, well, we'll have to change that." I'm like, really? Really? So they based on what their good parenting was on how often they could ground me and how many things they could find wrong with me and ground me for it or something, right? Like this wasn't an isolated incident. This is over and over and over and over again. And let me give you one. I don't remember all the little different things, right? But I remember the one thing. And this ought to tell you something right here, right? The one thing I got in trouble for stealing my own money that I earned from my job as a paper on my paper route. Okay, I earned my own money, and I got in trouble for spending it a couple times. And after a while, they didn't get it because after all, it didn't matter what the hell I did, it was wrong. So by the time I get 12, 13, I'm like, I don't care no more. I'm just gonna do what I want to do because you're gonna ground me anyway. So I'm gonna find every opportunity to exercise that. So but I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine a world where I'm growing up where my kid is just against the wall like this for hours on end every single night, or out in the kitchen just sitting in a chair alone in the dark for hours and hours. I just couldn't imagine that. I try everything I can to avoid punishment. Now, when my son was younger, we had to do some things. Nothing like this, man. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was normal growing up, right? And then I get older and I start comparing notes with other people, and I start seeing other parents and what they're doing. And then I go to college and I learn differently. I'm like, wow, they couldn't have fucked that up more if they had a fucking plan. But they were great parents, And I'm just a bad kid. I'm just a horrible, horrible person. I just still can't get over that one either. I, it's a shitty parent that blames their kid on their shitty parenting. I mean, that's pretty fucked up, honestly. But that's, that's all I had to say about that. But yeah, I just kind of find out, and more and more stuff kind of put itself together about me being the family scapegoat, and so I wouldn't know contact till years and years ago, and that's really helped me and stop those ghost messages from keep hitting me. So I was able to start healing and look at some things and get some therapy and change a lot of that, and it's been awesome. It's been really awesome. And I'm glad I went to college and figured out how to be a different parent. I already kind of had an idea, but going to college helped me figure some other things out because, I was convinced that when kids got to be teenagers, they're unruly, bloodthirsty fucking monsters all the time, right? But that's not the case, and if you're a shitty parent, I saw that too when I got older, if you're a shitty parent, the kids get older and they just they're sick of your shit, and they're older, they're capable, and they're wiser, so they just, but if you respect kids, yeah, you're gonna have some normal issues here and there, but not over the top bullshit all the time, right? Not highly dysfunctional, high stress, trauma, nothing like that. I mean, you're always gonna have your problems in life, that's for sure, but man, no need to add to it by making your kid the scapegoat, putting all family's bullshit on them, But yeah, that's the way it was, I was just a bad kid, Wow. I wasn't a bad kid. I wasn't. There were some things that I did that weren't correct, but I was a kid. I was just normal. I was trying things out. And, my parents didn't realize that they instigated like 3/4 of this dysfunctional behavior in me because of their parenting. They still don't realize that, but it's not for me to worry about, right? But I'm convinced, I'm looking back on a lot of that behavior probably wouldn't have happened had they gone about things differently. Now, some things probably would happen anyway, right? Because, hey, I am who I am. But I think some of it was me reacting to my environment. It's normal. If you got a rough environment, you're going to be rough. You're going to act it. You're going to act that part, And no, that's all I had to say for now. But a lot of growth, a lot of healing, good stuff.